Now, with the current Rampocalypse going on, I know it can be a bit difficult, if not feel like impossible, to build a good budget, cheap gaming PC nowadays. Well, I'm here to tell you, it may be a lot more difficult now, but it's not impossible, not quite yet. This right here is a full system built. I managed to get for about $150 off of eBay, and even though it has some pretty aged specs, it honestly surprised me on how well it can still do nowadays with gaming. So what this system comes with is a 4-core, 4-thread Xeon processor, 16 gigs of DDR4 ECC memory, has a 250 gigabyte SATA SSD, has a 6 gigabyte 1060 drone in there, and one important note is that the included power supply actually has 2 dedicated 8-pin PCIe power connectors. So if you ever wanted to swap out this 1060, you honestly won't be held back by the power supply. You could power pretty much any GPU you could physically fit in this case. So I mean, it has a really good upgrade path in terms of GPUs. Now with something like this, you definitely want to add some more storage down the line. But the fact that this is fully built, you don't need to do anything with it besides plug it in. It should be plug and play. Something like this would be perfect for those of you who are just a bit too nervous or don't think you're smart enough to properly build your own gaming PC. Another issue you can find with pre-builts like this is that the processor and just the chipset itself is just a tad too old to natively support Windows 11. But what I say to that is sometimes you just kind of gotta look Microsoft right in the eyes, give them a nice pleasant gesture, and just tell them to go screw themselves, and use some bypasses to install Windows 11 anyway. So I would highly advise, and that's what I did, is to install something else to kind of help clean up the system to make the hardware run better. In my instance, I used Atlas OS to kind of help get the best performance out of the system as I can using Windows 11. First game I benchmarked here was Marvel Rivals, and at 1080p medium settings with FSR 3 on, I was hovering anywhere between high 30s, low 40s, maybe sometimes mid 40s. Which honestly, for a casual play experience, like not, this you ain't gonna be going pro at these frame rates, but you just want to mess around with some friends. This is still very playable. I just highly would not recommend entering in a $40,000 Rivals tournament with the system and to play Black Widow for the vibes, because you're not really gonna be getting far with this. But I mean, you could do you. Next game I benchmarked here was Fortnite, which honestly, Fortnite has easily become my favorite game to benchmark. Not because of the gameplay, just the crazy stuff that can happen with this game on older hardware is incredible. For example, I first tested with DXL 12 on at first, with at 1080p with medium settings, and I ran into issues of not even spawning into the starting island. I went from the loading screen straight to the bus, and a lot of missing textures. And other stuff like I couldn't shoot my gun, I couldn't jump, I couldn't sprint. Everything was low poly, like I'm pretty sure Master Chief had more polygons in the original Halo Combat Evolved on the Xbox than he does here right now. So I tried a few more games with DirectX 12, but I just could not get it to work. When I dropped it out to performance mode, however, that's when I started getting a lot better experience. Over 100 FPS almost consistently, and just stuff was actually loading in and working properly. There were some hitches here and there, but it wasn't terrible. Though I'd probably recommend dropping the frame cap down to 60 just to have a 100% smooth playing experience. Or, at the very least, cap it out at 120, whichever you want to try out. Borderlands 4 wouldn't even work. You can launch it, but it wouldn't even get to the main menu. It just crashed. So yeah. Next game I tested was actually modded Minecraft. I found a small Cobblemon mod pack with a little under 100 mods, with shaders though turned on, and I was actually able to get a very good playable, about 100 frames on it. So like, if you want something like this, just be able to experience like the endless library of mods Java Minecraft has to offer, or just want to make the game look a little prettier with shaders, this actually did a really good job at accomplishing that. Now the next game I tested out is something I wanted to throw in just to kind of show what's still kind of possible at this price point. Here we have Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection, but I'm actually playing one of my all-time favorite mods on the Steam Workshop you can play with on the Master Chief Collection, being Sandtrap, well, being Ultimate Firefight here. Firefight mode on Sandtrap is actually really fun. I enjoy it, and like this computer handled that no issues whatsoever. It did not struggle at all to play something like this. And honestly, this just kind of showcases that you also don't need to play the most modern titles. You can easily go back and just look at the endless amount of mods on some of these older games and have hours upon hours of fun experiences playing them. Now, Helldivers 2. Thing is, with Helldivers 2, since it's a strictly PvE kind of game, you don't really need to have a frame rate to enjoy yourself. But when I tested Helldivers 2 on this system, no matter what I did, I was getting anywhere between mid-20s to about low 40s. Which, in the video you're seeing right here, it doesn't look that bad. But I'm going to tell you right now, it felt worse than what it looks. Like, it was honestly a little painful to play, but I'm used to playing it at a bit of a higher frame rate, so if you have nothing else to work with, it's at least playable, and I bet you can still have fun with it playing with some friends. Just, the experience was not the best for me personally. And it's that, sadly? And then lastly, we have Cyberpunk, which this game struggled a little bit too. I mean, I tried everything, you know, messing with quality settings, turning frame gen on, but it was mostly the processor that was just struggling the most with it. Getting about low 30s consistently, which honestly could be playable for some people. Which, I mean, I thought it was at least somewhat it was more playable than Helldivers 2 was, in my opinion. But the frame rate didn't quite break even 40, which I know some people would struggle to play a game like that. But honestly, it's still at least playable if you have nothing else to use, you know? And that's everything. The $150 PC I found on eBay. While it's not perfect, it can't play like all the modern games. In fact, it can't play some, well, I mean, a good handful of modern games actually. It's still very capable for some lighter games, you know? Some lighter games. Some older games. Or if you just want something to, you know, play the endless list of mods on some of these older games on, this would be the perfect machine to do that on a pretty good budget. Or you just want a nice stepping stone or something for a kid. Something like this, absolutely perfect. Cheap and expensive and just honestly not that bad still, given its aged hardware. Well, that's all I have for you, and I guess I'll see you guys later.